Gaming Bolt presents 10 things you need to know before you buy Monster Hunter World on PC. Monster Hunter's been a huge franchise in the video game industry for roughly a decade now, if not more. But with 2018's release of Monster Hunter World, the franchise truly exploded, reaching the kind of global audience the series never did before. In keeping with the series' constant growth and World's newfound philosophies of bringing in new players into the mix, the smash hit is being brought over to the PC by Capcom, marking the series' debut on the platform. Monster Hunter World on PC is almost upon us, so if you're looking forward to purchasing the game, here are 10 things you should know about the PC version specifically before you jump in. Resolution and frame rate. Perhaps the one reason so many gamers prefer to play games on a PC instead of consoles is the fact that the former is just capable of producing much higher visuals and performance, depending on what kind of setup you have, of course. And if you have the right setup, you will be able to run Monster Hunter World at a native 4K resolution, which it has confirmed support for. This is made even more impressive by the fact that the game can also run at a 60 frames per second frame rate. Visual parity with consoles. Capcom have also announced that they won't be making any cutbacks or compromises to the game's visuals or technical aspects in bringing it over to the PC. Being a ridiculously more powerful platform than the PS4 or the Xbox One, or even the One X for that matter, you'd almost expect that to be a given, but not all PC versions of modern AAA games abide by that. Remember Arkham Knight, anyone? Either way, Capcom have assured that Monster Hunter World on PC will at least look as good as the game's console versions, though, of course, if you have a good setup, you can always kick things up a notch yourself. System requirements. Recommended. But what exactly is a good setup when it comes to Monster Hunter World? Well, according to the game's recommended system requirements, you're going to need a decent system. An Intel Core i3-8350 4GHz processor is recommended, though of course, an Intel Core i7-3770 3.4 GHz or an AMD Ryzen 5 1500X would work just as well. Then there's the matter of the graphics card. Capcom recommends you play the game with either an AMD Radeon RX 570X or an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 installed in your PC. System requirements minimum. If there is anything in those requirements we just spoke about that you cannot afford or do not currently have access to, however, that does not mean that you can't play Monster Hunter World on PC whatsoever. Minimum system requirements require you to have an Intel Core i5-4460 3.20 GHz or an AMD FX 6300 processor chip, while on the graphics card front, either an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760 or an AMD Radeon R7 260X would work. No cross-platform play. Cross-platform has been a red-hot topic of discussion among the gaming masses in recent months, so of course, whether or not Monster Hunter World on PC will feature cross-play with the game's PS4 or Xbox One versions was a pertinent question for many people. The answer, sadly, seems to be no, and no, for once, it's not Sony's fault. They actually have allowed cross-play with PC versions of games on some occasions. Monster Hunter World on PC won't have crossplay with console versions simply because it will be receiving updates and patches owing to the system's different architecture at different times in the game's console versions, and though Capcom will try to sync that up, a crossplay will still remain highly doubtful. DEVILJHO and LUNASTRA. DEVILJHO and LUNASTRA are both fearsome, towering, terrifying beasts in the game that may have only been added to the experience after its full launch, but have quickly clawed their ways into fans' lists of their favorite monsters. When Monster Hunter World releases on PC near the end of August, players sadly won't get access to these two monsters at launch. That said, these two will be launching as post-launch content just as they did on the consoles. Post-launch support. In fact, Capcom in general seem to have plans in place for constant and engaging post-launch support for Monster Hunter World. Other than LUNASTRA and DEVILJHO, both of which will be free DLC, Capcom will also be releasing other updates to the game, though once again, whether these will sync up with the game's console versions isn't something they're commenting on yet. Interestingly though, Capcom have said that they want to make sure that these updates on PC don't take long to come out, like in the base current Monster Hunter World. De novo DRM. One of the most vehemently hated things in our masses, right up there alongside microtransactions, loot boxes, and EA, is the concept of DRM. Sadly, Monster Hunter World will have de novo DRM. What this means is that it will require an internet connection if you want to play the game. Of course, the game is centered on co-op experiences, but it is also entirely playable solo, so we imagine several people will be miffed, and rightly so, at this particular bit of information. Digital Deluxe Edition. When Monster Hunter World launches on PC on August 9th, those who wish to shell out a little bit of extra cash for a different deal will have the option of purchasing the game's Digital Deluxe Edition. For a steeper price of $69.99, the Digital Deluxe Edition will include, other than the base game itself, the Samurai armor set, the Top Knot hairstyle, the Wyvern face paint, 3 gestures, Zin, Ninja Star, and Sumo Slap, and 2 sticker sets, MH All-Stars and Sirloin. Pre-order bonus. We imagine quite a number of people are giddily anticipating the launch of Monster Hunter World on PC, and as such, many of you either have already pre-ordered the game or will be doing so soon. If you do end up pre-ordering it or have already done so, the game will also grant you bonuses. You will receive 2 in-game rewards, namely the Origin Armor Set, a set that is built around defense and gathering stats, as well as the Fair Wind Charm, a skill that increases your attack power. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.